Welcome back to my channel. Shannan Watts was born as Shannan Catherine Rtsusek on January 10, 1984 in Passaic County, New Jersey, United States. Her zodiac sign is Capricorn. Shannan's father's name is Frank Rtsusek and her mother is Sandra. Her brother is Frankie Rtsusek. Shannan met Chris Lee Watts in 2010. He was an employee of the Anadarko Petroleum, Woodlands, Texas. Before meeting Chris, she was married to a man named Leonard King. They got divorced in 2009. Chris and Shannan got married on November 3, 2012 in Mecklenburg County in North Carolina. She had two daughters, Bella and Celeste, born in 2013 and 2015. Shannan was a human resources specialist at the Children's Hospital in Colorado. Thereafter, she was an independent representative for a company that sells Thrive Health and Wellness products. Shannan lived with her family in a 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom house in Frederick, Colorado. The house was purchased by the Watts in April 2013. On August 13, 2018, Shannan returned home from a business trip to Arizona. At about 1:50 in the morning, her friend and colleague Nicole gave her a lift from the airport and dropped her off at her house. That was the last time she saw Shannan. After Shannan had missed her doctor's appointment and business meetings. She also failed to return messages. Word Nicole went to her house around 12 p.m. Upon reaching her home, when nobody responded, she notified Chris, who was at work. At about 1:30 p.m. an officer arrived to conduct a welfare check and talked with Chris and discussed ways to locate his missing family. During the welfare check, Chris allowed the police officer to inspect the house, but Shannan and children were nowhere to be found. The search team found Shannan's wallet containing her phone and keys. Her car was still in the garage and her wedding ring found on the couple's bed. The next day, FBI and the Colorado Bureau of Investigation joined the investigation. Chris has told the police that he did not know the whereabouts of Shannan, Bella or Celeste, and had not seen his wife since he left the work at 5 a.m. on August 13. He gave interviews to many news channels and pleaded his family to return home. According to Chris, he was having an affair with a woman named Nicole Kessinger. And when he had wanted a separation from Shannan, she had strangled the children in response. He then killed Shannan by strangling her on the bed due to rage and then transported the 3 bodies to a remote oil storage site where he worked. On the day of his arrest, he was fired from his job. On August 16, the authorities found the bodies on the property of his former employer, Anadarko Petroleum. The children's bodies were found hidden in the oil tanks, and Shannan's body was found buried in a shallow grave nearby. On August 21, Watts was charged with 5 counts of first-degree murder. An additional 1 count per child, cited as death of a child who had not yet attained 12 years of age, and the defendant was in a position of trust, unlawful termination of a pregnancy. And 3 counts of tampering with a deceased human body. At his first court appearance, he was denied bail, and at a later hearing, the bail was set at $5 million. In an interview with Dr. Phil, Chris's lawyer claimed that he has confessed to murdering Shannan after an argument regarding divorce. Before the bodies of his pregnant wife and 2 daughters were found in an oil field in 2018, Chris Watts denied any wrongdoing in a chilling text to his mistress, Nicole Kessinger. In a newly surfaced police video filmed during the investigation, Nicole detailed her affair with Watts and told officers that she questioned him about his family's disappearance when it made headlines. Per people who verified the authenticity of the 3-hour video, Kessinger shared with authorities that she and Watts exchanged texts after Shannan Watts and her daughters went missing. "I kept asking him, 'What did you do, Chris? What did you do?' I asked, 'Where's your family?' So I texted Chris one last time, and I told him, 'If you did anything bad, you're going to ruin your life and you're going to ruin my life. I promise you that.' And he responded, 'I didn't hurt my family, Nikki.'" On August 21, Watts was charged with 5 counts of first-degree murder, an additional 1 count per child. Chris' lawyer claimed that he has confessed to murdering Shannan after an argument regarding divorce. While he was murdering her, Bella walked in and Chris told her that her mother was sick. Chris loaded Shannan's body into the back of his work truck, and his daughters without car seats in the back. Later, he strangled both the children with a blanket in the back seat of his truck, one after the other. On November 9, he pleaded guilty, and as a part of the plea deal, the death penalty was not put forward on the request of Shannan's family. On November 19, Chris was sentenced with 5 life sentences, 3 consecutive and 2 concurrent, without the possibility of parole, an additional 48 years for the unlawful termination of his wife's pregnancy, 36 years for 3 charges of tampering with a deceased body. Chris was moved to an out-of-state location, and on December 5, 2018 he arrived at the Dodge Correctional Institution, a maximum security prison in Waupun, Wisconsin.